Good morning, Saturday morning here. Very interesting few hours over the last 48 hours. I want to talk today about the brainwashing of the media. For those of you who don't know, I grew up from birth in a religious cult, which I came out of when I was 23 years old. Yeah, sure. I've been moving money around the world for a number of private clients, which range from the super rich to government officials to other officials around the world for many years now. And I tend to work in the Middle East mainly. I live in southern Spain, but I commute between Spain and Dubai most of the time. And basically, when I was moving a large amount of money for a specific government, 6 years ago, I was with a member of that government who informed me just as we were traveling that they were going to collapse the world's economy in a few years' time. That was 6 years ago. And then 2 years ago, they said, we're nearly ready now. I saw him we were doing another job. We'd taken in a large amount of money into India, just to assure that Modi got into power. But he said to me, we're nearly there now. We've got Trump in power, so we're getting very close. And then I saw him again in December of last year, and he said, we're going to do it at the start of this coming year. We're going to collapse the world's economy. And I just said as a joke, really? How are you going to do that then?
Last week, Charlie, did this global economic reset begin?
It certainly has begun. But when we go through the total transition from the old system to the new system, from what I understand, there will actually be a blackout for probably 2 or 3 days, and that's an internet blackout and a television blackout. That's what I understand. And from some of the intel we're getting right now, they haven't told us exactly what date, but they're expecting, if it all goes according to plan, between the 2nd and the 9th of July.
The things that you're telling us are just the same sort of thing that Qon On has been saying from the beginning, and there's been no substantial progress.
Well, there's a very important thing there, that I haven't actually been watching anything from Qon On in the last 4 weeks.
Okay.
I've completely turned off to Qon On because people go, oh, you got it off Q. And I went, where I'm getting mine now from is from the people that I deal with directly in America. So I haven't taken any of my information from Q. So in a way, I'm quite glad to hear that Qon On is saying exactly the same as I'm saying.
But isn't this video from 7 hours? You've got Q right here.
Yeah, this was a digital round table that I did with a guy in the States. That's the thumbnail he sent me to put on there.
Got it. And your YouTube channel, Charles Ward, is growing tremendously. You've got almost 10,000 more subscribers than you did last week.
Yeah, for some reason, it's been a shock for me to go from 37 subscribers at the start of this to 53,000 now has been an incredible journey. And yes, at the start of it, you'll see that behind me I've got the Q logo. You see it on the website there. I've got the Q website. I'm not ashamed of that at all, because I researched it and found out exactly what it is. But for the last 4 weeks, I haven't looked at any of the Q drops at all, because I'm getting so much factual evidence from the people that I'm talking to, because they're a little bit more talkative than they were before. But Ole was absolutely right just now. They're going to keep this extremely quiet until it has happened, because of what's happened in the past. But we're all like little children in a car going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there? We're so impatient, and we're destroying one of the most dirty swamps, the deep state, the cabal, one of the most dirty things in life. And it's only taken us 3.5 months.
What do you mean 3.5 months?
And we're saying, sorry?
What do you mean 3.5 months? Trump has been in office 3.5 years.
I mean, since the lockdown. This was the process of starting when we started in March. The lockdown was to cover up. This was the start of the collapse of the world's economy. Although you talk to economists and they'll tell you that the economy was collapsed long before that. It was in an absolutely terrible state. So It didn't take an awful lot to collapse it. But the smoke screen started coming in March, which is when the hard work started to happen. We've already discussed it. 150,000 arrests worldwide have been executed now. And there is hard evidence of that now. Hard evidence. You can go on to, I haven't got it here with me, but you can go onto the Los Angeles court website and put in the names of the people that are coming out on social media, and you can find the court case against them. And I'm not going to go through them all, because this is where your viewers and my viewers need to do their own homework. Because if we tell them that Sandra Bullock got arrested, they go, yeah, of course she did. And you go, well, fine. Why don't you do your own research and just go and have a look at these things? Then you come back to me and tell me when you've researched it, because I've been onto the Los Angeles court register and I've paid my money to get the file off, and I've found out what's there. But if I just tell people about it, they go, yeah, that could be made up. I said, fine. You do your own research and go on there and find out for yourself. Otherwise, they just don't believe you.
Right. So Sandra Bullock was arrested?
I'm trying to think where I've got it. And what I did thereafter was take her name, because of her middle name, and then there's a link beneath it to CaliforniaCourts.org, I think it's called, and I put her details into there. So I referenced it with the court. And if you'll see that when you reference it down there, there's quite a few people with the same first name and surname that have got court cases against them. But with her name, you'll see that you can log into it to see.
So this is...
We got Barbara Streisand there as well.
Yeah.
Arrested.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah. But this is just... This doesn't look
at the bottom there,
CaliforniaArrests.org. That's a thing?
That's the website that you can go into, that you pay to enter. And it comes up.
This does not look like an official state website to me. I do a lot of work with Pacer and things like that. This does does not look like a government website to me.
Okay. Well, you would know a lot better than me, but that's what we've through.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is a little bit difficult sometimes to find these state court things because...
well, maybe you can research for me.
Yes, let's do it right now in real time. So if we go to Icon, which is the... the internet thing that allows you to look up people's who owns what websites and things like that. Let's go to who is in here and see who runs this CaliforniaArrests.org, and maybe we can learn some more. Because I think people want to believe that good things are going to happen, and certainly we don't want to poo-poo facts, but there are just so many people with so many different motives to put out information. Let's see, client transfer prohibited, Cloudflare, contact, Who is Guard Inc. So the mailing address for this is in Panama. We can't really find out who runs it, but I find it difficult to imagine that the state of California would run a website out of Panama. They probably would run it from California.
Another thing you can check, see when was it set up? Has it just been set up, this website, or has it been
created in 2012?
Wow, that's not a brand new thing then.
But it's using Who is Guard Inc. and the mailing address is Panama, and the registrar is namecheap.com. I don't think that the state of California would use these types of services to register an official thing. And I also can't imagine that all those big name celebrities would be arrested and there'd be no reporting about it.
Okay. Well, you would know far better than me over there.
So were warrants issued. I mean, I don't really trust Snopes at all, but
No.
I don't see anything at all being reported about Barbara Streisand being arrested or Sandra Bullock.
When I questioned exactly that with the people that I know, they said to me that these public figures won't become public knowledge until September, October, November of this year. That's what they told me. And I said, why is that? And they said, because it will just unnerve everybody.
I mean, they always have these types of answers, Charlie.
Yeah,
I want to encourage everyone, even our viewers, anything I say, I want them to be very skeptical, because there are things that can be misconstrued. There are things that could be explained through perhaps not the most initially obvious explanation, but we need tangible evidence for these things. I don't want people to just go down a road of thinking something good will happen based on a guess.
Lee Dawson's been over there helping him, and we're three friends, you know. They went over to England to do it. I stayed here because I have responsibilities here that I couldn't leave. They went over there and it did it, but it also allowed me to look at it from the outside, looking in rather than being completely taken over with all three of us being there. So it's been very, very good for me to sit back and let them do what they do well and make a judgment from back here. And I enjoyed the first part. There's many, many questions, and I'm sure they'll answer them to do with documentation in the second part. But I won't make up my mind until I've seen all the evidence. Because it's like this journey at the moment. All I knew was the destination of where we were going. I just didn't know what route we were taking on this one. So this has been an interesting journey.
Yeah, and this video's gotten a tremendous amount of attention. It's been out for only one day. It already has almost 135,000 people who have seen it.
Yeah.
He got that during the Cadiz Faro raids, collecting books for the Oxford Library. And he kept that book of predictions to himself, interpreted it, and he said, go 30 miles west to an arch in the rock, it's 27 feet high, go through there, find the cave, which had been struck by plasma arcs from another planet, and sketch it and write down these names, Joseph Gregory Hallett, and this is the next person to represent the end times New Age. And I was actually living in that cave when I got the phone call from the Sangreal saying the Priory de Sion, the top of the occult, have just selected us to represent the end times. And I'm hearing a slightly staticky phone because there's not a lot of reception in a cave.
I think there's a very important point there, Jason. You're trying to set your moral compass on mainstream media.
Yeah.
If not on mainstream media, you don't believe it.
I got to correct you. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to find any semblance of evidence that supports the claim that Barbara Streisand has been arrested. I think that if something like that occurred, Barbara Streisand, Sandra Bullock, some of the names that we're talking about, at least one of them would be reported by the mainstream news. The fact that Barbara Streisand is, posting as recently as 2 days ago on Instagram, all of these things are supportive of the probability that she has not been arrested. If there were no Instagram posts, if there was a report that she was arraigned somewhere, that would be some evidence. These are, again, just claims that seem unsupported.
Yeah, I think, look, I'm getting my intel from what I think reasonably good sources. These people work behind the scenes. It's not from Qon On. It's not from mysterious places. These people are people behind the scenes. And they're giving me pieces of information. And I'm trying to establish the truth. When it comes to arrests, like I knew about these arrests 12, 14 weeks ago. And I knew that there was 150,000 arrest warrants issued. Now, I did some research because I'd never heard what a sealed indictment was. I'd never heard of it. So I investigated what a sealed indictment is. And this is an indictment where the court case has already happened and they've been found guilty without them being present.
I'm not sure that's the way it works in the United States. When someone is indicted, they then need to go through a trial before they can be found guilty.
Yeah, but that's an opened indictment. What about a sealed indictment? Maybe you can check for me that my research, a sealed indictment is where the case has been heard and proven beyond reasonable doubt without the person being present. And the reason that they were done, I was told, is because there were so many corrupt barristers, lawyers, and judges. There was a very good chance a lot of these people would have got away with stuff.
I don't think that's correct. I think that a sealed indictment is something that would be utilized during a grand jury proceeding. And grand juries differ from a jury in a trial in that a grand jury is impaneled when there is suspicion of crime, and the bar that is set for the grand jury is much lower than the proof of guilt or innocence. The grand jury is there to determine if a criminal investigation and trial will proceed, and so it's my understanding, and we should consult some of the legal experts who join us on Crowdsource the Truth to get this straight, but that an indictment might be sealed to protect a person's innocence during the time that they're trying to determine if there will be a trial or not. I don't think that someone can be put through a trial without their knowledge. And I mean, you know, this concept of a sealed indictment, again, is another one of these things that we've heard a lot about with regard to Jeff Sessions and QAnon and trusting the plan and things like that. So I just want to make sure that we've got clear evidence and proper definitions for all this stuff that we're talking about.
So I was explained that the case has been heard, and that when they serve the sealed indictment, when they open it and serve it, the person has the right to appeal it. That's what I was told, and I was also told that not one person had actually appealed it.
Right. Well,
they had it. So you can check that out because you're over there, and it's a lot easier for you to establish factual evidence from an American lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, the legal definition of an indictment is the formal charge of a serious crime. So a sealed indictment could be, we got to find out what that is. I mean, even when we go to the Department of Justice, this is, again, something that I don't know that I'd really heard about too much before QAnon. After the prosecutor studies the information from investigators and the information he gathers from talking with individuals involved, he or she decides whether to present the case to a grand jury. When a person is indicted, he or she is given formal notice that it is believed that he committed a crime. The indictment contains the basic information that informs the person of the charges against him or her. So a sealed indictment, I mean, again, I'm presuming, but it perhaps would be sealed because of a lack of evidence, but then there is no indictment. I mean, there needs to be a certain amount of evidence. We've got to speak to a lawyer and find out what this sealed indictment is really all about.
That would be good. That was the day, which was fascinating. On my phone, I have a flight radar app to track planes, and one of my friends from over in Florida sent me a snapshot of the amount of planes coming in and going out of Guantanamo Bay, which was fascinating. I mean, it was busier than any other airport I've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, do we have a baseline? Guantanamo. Do we have a baseline of understanding of what air traffic is like around Guantanamo Bay? It doesn't look like there's too many flights there right now.
There's not there now, no.
Did you take a screenshot?
Yeah, I've got a screenshot on my phone.
Excellent.
And I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
There we go. There's a lot of planes in Florida. Look at that.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, Ole, what else would you like to?
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and guys, you know I come back with that second video just to make you think. Now, I received comment after comment. I received email after email. Please do a video on Charlie Ward. Please do a video on Charlie Ward. Now, guys, this video, I'm not getting on Charlie Ward. We're just going to go through the evidence. Now, basically, I looked over plenty of videos. And when he's on there, nobody really questions him. You know, puts him in a corner, where's your evidence at? Because he says a lot of things with no evidence. So, basically, I looked around. I found a crowdsource, basically, with Jason Goodman. And basically, he did a great job. Any question he asked him, he pushed him in a corner and made him answer it. And the fact is that he had no evidence. The evidence that he had was false. So we're going to go over the clips. So basically he states that he was actually in a cult growing up. Basically also states that he moved around money for some powerful people, which we can check. He definitely has money. You can see the shirts that he has on. He has on the Knights of Templar. You know, I know that symbol. You know, the polo. So he definitely has some money. There's no questions about that. But the fact is that at the end of the day, he's definitely a hustler. Plain and simple. And that's it. He's a hustler. He's an oil salesman. He's a hustler. That's what he is. So let's go into the clips. And just like I said, Jason Goodman did a great job. Now, the first prediction was that the Canada internet will have a blackout from July 2nd through the 9th. Now, guys, of course, this is August, so that didn't happen. So his intel was incorrect. Then he says people got arrested. No evidence of anybody getting arrested. He sends Goodman a website that he said he paid to get in and saw the documents. We clearly see that the website was false, pure fraud. Then he says that many planes are going in and out of Guantanamo Bay. What happens? The guy said, hey, you got a screenshot? Yeah, I got the screenshot. Screenshot never shows up. He's just looking at his phone the whole time like he's doing something. Now, the only disturbing part of Charles Ward is the guy that he's with. I think his name is Joseph, who's claiming to be the king, you know, the second coming of Jesus. That's the only disturbing part. Because, guys, if we look at the big picture, the New World Order wants what? One world government, one currency, and one religion. Now, his YouTube count only had 337 followers, subscribers. Basically, a lot of his videos was Jesus loves you. And then when he started bringing in the Jesus guy, the king, his channel blows up. And then he moves over to Qon On. So this is definitely deception. Now, as far as with the crypto space, of course, with XRP, the XRP community, XRP army, they latch on to anything. Now, basically, he said this quantum financial system, that's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's all been proven a lie. Basically, the government, and I posted this on my Twitter account, it was, you know, for quantum, but that's for energy. Guys, we know it's a quantum system because that's the computers. That's even in my book if you have my book. So, but guys, just about everything he says when you verify has been a lie. So basically, just make sure that you're doing your investigations. Like I said, I'm not getting on Charlie because, of course, he's a hustler. He's there to make money. You can clearly see he's about money. He said all three of those guys are friends. They're getting in the hustle to get some money. That's what it is. We see everything shutting down. People are doing what they got to do. I don't have any issues with that because everybody's adults. You listen to who you want to listen to. But of course, when my followers ask me to expose, I'm going to expose you. That's my job. But guys, y'all have a wonderful day.